And of course, it is very important for us to be dissecting this and chatting to us will be in terms of looking forward to this year's event is Anthony Moruthane, who is the program director at the Rising Star Tennis Series, to talk about how important it is. There has been a record 29% increase in terms of the increase in entries from last season. Anthony, have you connected to us? Thank you so much for giving us your time on Sport on Full View.
Good evening to you and your viewers. Thanks for having me tonight.
All right, maybe let's just talk about that. I alluded to the fact that there is a healthy 29% increase in the number of entries when we compare it to last season. And of course, this is the third edition of the series. Talk us through the journey, how it's gone so far, resulting in this jump that we are now witnessing.
Yeah, I think we are very fortunate, I think, to have the backing of the BNP Paribas, which is a global bank, French bank, and there's local subsidiary, which is called RCS Group. So the program was launched back in 2019, and I think the objectives were just very simple. There were three objectives. One, just to make the tennis, the sport more inclusive and accessible to as many kids as possible in South Africa, and with key focus on historically disadvantaged kids. So the second point was just to create more playing opportunities for primary schools, high schools, and wheelchair tennis. And yeah, and I think the last also but very important point is to ensure that we promote tennis at grassroots level and utilize sport really as a powerful sport. So it was great to see, I think year one of the program, we had, I think, just nearly 400 primary school participating. And in year two, such an incredible growth to see the program across all the three categories, doubling the number to nearly 800 primary schools, high schools, and special schools participating. And I mean, we are in year three, as you said. And we have seen another incredible increase of 29%, where we have jumped. We have seen nearly 1,100 schools participating in year three of the Rising Star Tennis program. And I think that the program is growing. It's growing year by year. And we're identifying some great talent across different parts of South Africa. And I think the most important part or key part for us as Tennis South Africa is to see for the very first time in the longest time that we are able to break into township and rural communities.
That is amazing. So what have you maybe noticed in terms of why the country isn't producing tennis stars who are competing on the global stage in their numbers? What do you think the reason has been?
Yeah, that's a good question. So I think one is kids need as many competitive opportunities as they can get. And I think we are on an upward trajectory as Tennis South Africa at the moment. We're exposing kids now to several key national events, and we've introduced a lot of international junior tournaments as well as international pro events like 15,000, which are entry-level tournaments. So now the pathway is actually paved now for our kids, which is why I think Rising Star Tennis is very key. Because I'll give you an example. Players like Kololame Monzi, who's one of our very promising players, who comes from an underserved community in the Eastern Cape. We also have Khotaso Monchani from Limpopo. They all started playing tennis at the school level, but they were afforded an opportunity there was a proper player pathway where they were able to transition in different stages. So this is what I think we're getting right. And I think now with the backing of BNP Paribas and RCS Group and many other Tennis South Africa partners, we are able to provide that opportunity to our players in South Africa.
You speak there of Khotaso Monchane, and of course the discussion against wheelchair tennis will then arise. I mean, a huge problem with resources and infrastructure. What are you doing maybe to just amend that situation and make sure that it's just more conducive for the young athletes that are coming up in the sport?
Yeah. I think the biggest challenge that we face as national federation, and I think this is something common with many other federations, is we are faced with. So we used to have a partnership with Airports Company South Africa, who were a sponsor of wheelchair tennis. I mean, wheelchair tennis is quite a very expensive sport. I think from equipment, from accessibility, from players being able to move from one place to another, they don't use your normal everyday vehicles and the services that are provided. So at the moment, unfortunately, for over 3 years, we haven't had a sponsor for wheelchair tennis South Africa, but for wheelchair tennis. But I think we are very grateful to the support that we're receiving from other sponsors. But I think one thing that the biggest challenge we face at the moment is we have been speaking to many corporates to get a sponsor for wheelchair tennis. And as soon as we do that, we will be able to afford as many kids opportunities at the wheelchair tennis level, like Khotazo Monjane did. I think players like Khotazo Monjane, your Evans Mariba, and Lucas Sitole, many other players, they got that opportunity when we had the backing of Airports Company South Africa. And we hope we can be able to get somebody on board, because I think South Africa has got a great and incredible rich history of and talent of wheelchair tennis. And we have reached the highest level in tennis. So there's great potential. We just need financial support.
Absolutely. Corporate is very important. And of course, from the 4th to the 6th of November will be the national finals in all divisions. Maybe just talk us through how that will be formed, you know, what we can be looking forward to, and just the structure of that competition.
Yep. Yeah. Thanks for that, Soli. So we've got all the 9 provinces participating in the Rising Star Tennis, making up 1,036 teams. So the district winners now are participating in provincial finals across those 3 categories. And the winners of the provincial finals then will converge in Tshwane at Groenkloof and University of Pretoria, where they will battle out for the national trophy. So I think this is very exciting. We will see many familiar faces, players like Khotazo Monjane, who is the ambassador for Rising Star Tennis, as well as Kololami Monzi and many others. And we just want to see, trying to find the best as school tennis team in South Africa, and we really look forward to that. And yeah, we looking to also have an exhibition. We're trying to look at some names, some of the successful tennis players who will be an inspiration to the players. So yeah, as we said, the event will take place from the 4th until the 6th of November 2022, and it will take place in Pretoria at Groenkloof Tennis Club, as well as Tuks University of Pretoria.
Oh, well, we can't wait to see all the talent that you will be unearthing. That was Anthony Moruthane. He is, of course, the director of the Rising Star Tennis Series. Absolutely exciting stuff. We'll leave it there for now from the Sports Desk.